My life as a filmmaker? Okay, that depends on what kind of filmmaker you are. If you're geared towards making or using film as a form of self-expression, I guess you can call yourself an experimental filmmaker. Okay, if you're experimenting with the medium or in story content, okay, I would say probably I'm around in that area. Okay, but of course somehow I get myself into advertising from time to time, if I'm lucky enough, you know, because it helps pay the bill. As a filmmaker, okay. Well, I just didn't get stuck in one aspect, like for example in directing, because in my opinion, a filmmaker should know all aspects of filmmaking, which includes writing, production design, of course directing, as well as producing their own films. Because nowadays, you know, but then again, you know, even for example in my generation, I mean, we were doing films all on our own, and we also had a lot of help with other centers or subsidiaries, sometimes if we're lucky enough. But the bottom line is, it's still basically a truly independent film. It was like I wouldn't have that much help from the outside. So basically our films came from our own pocket. That's the hard part. And during that time, we didn't have that many venues as compared to what filmmakers go through now, which makes them luckier, I mean, compared to my batch. Okay, so there were filmmakers who still pursued that career, and there are still filmmakers who are living that dream, and there are filmmakers who also helped out in the academy, such as I, you know, which I truly enjoy. And there you go. Because of filmmaking, what did I go through? Like I said, it depends if you're planning to be a filmmaker, to become a filmmaker, or as a means of using it as a tool of expressing ideas or selling a product. Okay. Now, some filmmakers find it hard to somehow distinguish themselves, where to put themselves, if it's going to be in the art aspect or in the commercial aspect. But there's always a way of like putting those two things together. Because a true filmmaker or a true artist, actually, in my opinion, should not stop himself from being himself. Okay, should not put borders around himself, because being an artist actually is being flexible and being able to deal with all kinds of mediums and problems. The consequences of being a filmmaker or being what I do is well, you're not exactly going to be considered a normal person, you know, like a 9-to-5 kind of guy, because you have to be constantly tickled, you have to be constantly aware, totally conscious about your surroundings, you know, that kind of thing. And those things that are around you somehow goes inside your head and goes inside your head differently from how other people perceive things. That's the usual. Every day, I always feel like stopping every day, especially if I'm dealing with clients. Okay. Like for example, I'm dealing with a client right now. I mean, like, they give me a call. Can you do our marketing campaign, their advertising campaign? So, okay, they give me a call, and so I design one, I conceptualize one, and then when I showed it, they're gonna say something like, oh, they wanted it this way. I can't figure it out. I mean, that's why they hire us in the first place, because we're supposed to be professionals, and we're supposed to be the concept guys, and then they're going to tell us to do this, do it this way instead. So somehow I feel like, hey, if you know what to do in the first place, why do you hire me in the first place? So the funny part is, I do what they want, and then once they see what they want to go back to what I wanted. And the funny part is, this is a procedure. Like I keep telling my people, it's like parang ano yan eh, lumang awitin na. So, and I'm sure a lot of filmmakers who are out there doing advertising, production house, or post-production work will share the same sentiment. It's like it's a never-ending, it's a vicious circle, it's a procedure, but we have to go through it because sometimes it leads well. The greatest achievement is in my accomplishment. Well, I did some short films, and well, you know, I wasn't after winning prizes when I was doing short films, because I enjoyed the process of making films, and even the process of advertising, because I like the idea of creating something, because somehow it's something that's going to make you feel closer, like making, I don't know, okay, because I stuck it out in the academe, because I always told myself, okay, this is going to be my in the meantime job. I'm going to be teaching in the meantime. Then when I'm in advertising, I'm going to say, this is just my in the meantime job, okay? But eventually, you know, both of it can go together. It looks like I enjoyed myself more in the academe. Because in the academe, there are hundreds of ideas for my students who are thrown at me, which I have to like assimilate. And I have to tell them, why don't you do it this way instead? Wouldn't it be better to do it that way instead? Because I enjoy being surrounded by ideas. Because in advertising, there are just so many ideas you can do with a bar soap, okay, or a shampoo. So I can't imagine. I tried working in advertising, as exciting as it is, but I felt working in the academy was more exciting because, you know, I didn't want to see the same people every day for the rest of my life. Unlike in the academe, in school, when I was teaching in college, it was like I keep seeing different faces every day, which I enjoyed immensely. For the students, okay, at that age, probably, you know, you're in some kind of a muddle. You still don't know in which area of movie making you want to be. You may think that you want to be a director, but you actually didn't explore other aspects in filmmaking. You still believe in filmmaking, everything starts with the word. I mean, you have to learn first how to write properly. Only then can you know, of course, what to put on the medium. It's very important, because that's my advice, for example, to aspiring filmmakers. Learn how to write, because that's where it all starts. If you're going to make a film, you have to put it on paper. Do a storyboard. Write a few sentences. Even if it's a rough storyboard, do it. So by the time when you shoot, you know exactly what to do. You can worry about the other things. My advice, okay? The idea is, do not feel like every time you make a film that it's going to be your magnum opus. Okay? Stanley Kubrick, for example, okay, Word of the Wise from Stanley Kubrick. It's like, if there's an aspiring novice or a young filmmaker or a person who wants to become a filmmaker, what do? I mean, give him a 3-minute roll of film. Before it was a Super 8, a 3-minute roll of film. Without even teaching him. Make him shoot whatever's on his mind. And then from that to 3-minute roll of film, only then can we determine how he is, what he can become, and who he will become, that kind of thing. And that's what I've been using in my teaching. I mean, okay, I usually ask students, for example, what exactly do you want? I mean, you know, because this is total filmmaking. This is like an incredible crash course in learning how to make movies. And it's like a mercenary kind of training. But you know, every filmmaker, every writer, every artist actually goes through this. It is not a corporate world that we're living in. And actually, so the most important thing is learning the basics first, and what the medium can do, and everything that's involved with that medium. Then you worry about the corporate stuff after that, because that's all a different learning process. Because even if you know, for example, what filmmaking is all about, wait until you work in the real world. There's going to be a lot of surprises. So I was hoping that for the student, for example, to see both sides of the coin. Okay, we will have the theory. I will be teaching, for example, the theory of filmmaking, and then we will have hands-on training. We will assess their works, but at the same time, tell them how it applies to the real world, which is the most important thing. Okay. The workshop, for example, I'm going to be handling now, is a total filmmaking. It's exactly what I went through and what my students go through. Because we're not going to shoot something with a huge production crew. We're just going to have you yourself, a few friends of yours, or even your classmates. Probably I'll group the students into 3 or 4, maybe 5. Everybody will have their designated positions, I mean designated jobs.